to the broken party.
Hello and welcome to the FITz and Healthy podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren Fitzgerald, and I am joined by someone that I respect immensely, and you guys have all heard me talk about, Dr. Pat Allen herself. So I'm here in Orange County, and I'm trying to contain my excitement because she doesn't realize the impact that she's had on my life yet. Thank you so much, Dr. Allen, for being with us on this show.
I'm grateful to be here at all.
You are.
When you're 83 years old, you're grateful for just any kind of life.
And you're just not the average 83-year-old by any
No,
means.
but I want to be the prototype.
Yes, I think that is a good goal to have.
Good.
So let me tell you why I'm interviewing you. I had never heard of you up until about September of last year. And one of my good girlfriends, I was talking to her at lunch about my dating woes because I, at that point, had been divorced for almost 2 years. And I had no desire to date. I was just kind of working on myself. And I had this really vivid dream. And I actually talked about it on my social media last night. The dream, she interpreted it as, you're ready to trust a man. And so I'm like, okay. And she asked me the question, and I didn't realize that it was the Pat Allen question at the time, but she asked me, if I had to choose, would I choose to be cherished first and cherished second?
Or both.
Or
equally.
both, right. She didn't ask that. Right.
That's the narcissistic one.
Exactly. So it was an easy, I didn't have to think twice about it. I've been, because I'm a medical doctor. So I'm the firstborn type A overachieving woman.
Alpha.
Yep. That I know you know.
Yes.
And I've been respected my whole life, but I've never been cherished by a man. And so that's why I said, that's easy. I would much rather be cherished first and respected second. And that's when she said, you're going to have to learn about being in your feminine energy. And here's a book that you need to read. Introduction.
Get into, I do.
Yes.
The Bible.
The Bible.
That has been on the shelf since 1995. And
but it's
everybody
still so pertinent.
hates it to start, throw it away, but then they have to buy it again.
Yes. Well, that's actually what I was discussing last night, because it was just the title alone. The old Lauren would have looked at it and been like, what kind of title is this? And I would have never picked it up, ever. But now I'm on a crusade to help spread your mission on bigger platforms, because
Thank you, God.
Yes, I've got so many type A alpha females that are goal-driven, intelligent girl bosses that have terrible relationship history.
I understand that, but those are the categories that I love the best.
Because we can learn. And
yes,
what you also don't know is I literally probably have listened to all of your podcast. I've binged listened. And so I, of course, read your book. I started listening to your podcast, fell in love with your personality right away, because you are a feisty woman, because obviously you're in your masculine energy when you're doing your job.
Absolutely. But I'm a fake beta when I'm with my boyfriend.
I told my boyfriend the same thing last night.
Yes.
He told me that I was no longer alpha, and I'm like, oh, I'm still alpha.
I'm just a fake beta.
Yes. So will you describe to our listeners, what do you mean by fake beta?
I do what our great grandmas had to do to survive. I respect the people that may pay my bills, take me to the emergency ward, marry me for the children. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Men that want to give, protect, and cherish me, even though I look like the Statue of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And they are Minnie Mouse.
So there are so many women right now that are listening to the words that you just said and are rolling their eyes, because they are products of the feminism movement.
And you want to know something?
What?
Goethe said that new ideas are at first reviled as absolutely repulsive, fought desperately, and then seen as normal. Individuation process. Therefore, you've got to learn not only how to be an individual, you got to be an I, to be a we, to be an us.
Will you repeat that one more time? My listeners need to hear that.
The Me Too movement
Okay.
is an individuation process.
Right.
It's not a man-hating process.
Thank you. Did y'all hear that? I hope that everyone heard that.
Yes. It's there to cause women to set up the individuation rights they want, but it also hopefully will include my work, the yin-yang system, that you've got to leave your balls at the office.
Yes.
Put them in a case. Somebody once said they were going to make me a glass box for a telephone pole, and then I could put my balls in it.
Yes. I think that's a good advice. I think that the next live broadcast that I'm going to do on my social media platforms is teaching women how to give their husbands their balls back.
That's right.
Right?
Well, that's not authentic. It is if you want to be a married or mated woman.
Yes. Yes.
I got news for you. Lesbians are fine. I just don't want to be one.
Exactly. Exactly. And what the old Lauren didn't understand was that I had an option.
Oh, yes.
To be in both my masculine and feminine energy.
Not at the same time.
Right. Right.
That's called narcissism. And people like me make money off of your nuttiness.
Yes. There's a lot of them too. I was married to one. So my ex-husband was a highly functioning alcoholic. And as you know, he was a girl and I was in my masculine energy.
Absolutely. I'm 47 years sober. I've been married 4 times, and I am one hell of a man when I'm drunk.
Yes.
Could be dangerous.
That's one of my favorite things that you say on pretty much every episode of your podcast.
Yes.
I remember the first time I heard you tell that story, I'm like, did this woman just tell me the story?
Yes, I did. Luckily, I was an art and a music teacher at the time, because if I was a therapist at that time, I wouldn't be here.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have been.
No.
So you've been a therapist for
47 years. I've been sober and a therapist for the same amount of time.
So how long did it take you in those first years of practicing to realize that this is your calling? Like this is one of your main purposes on this planet, right?
It is the only purpose as far as my male is concerned.
Right, right.
Because at UCI, when I promised to be a good girl and not try to kill anybody, especially husbands,
right.
You know.
Yes.
I didn't hurt him.
No.
But I did do a 5150.
Which is the diagnosis code for?
Yeah, for nuttiness. So I learned. And then I said, if I can have a moment of joyous happiness, sobriety, I will serve mankind the rest of my life. At that time, I weighed 205.
Do you have a picture? Because I hear you say this all the time.
I'm going to show it to you.
Right now, she doesn't weigh anywhere close to 205 pounds. But, oh my goodness. Okay. The people that are watching this on our YouTube channel, I cannot believe that. You're like half the person now. Yes, ma'am.
My blood pressure taken at Hoag was 250 over 148. Projectile nosebleeds.
The first time I heard you tell that story, that's a pressure that people use.
Very good.
Obviously.
I'm half Czech.
Okay.
And I'm half Irish.
Oh yeah. Those are some strong genes right
there.
Very
strong genes.
For sure.
You see what I mean?
For sure.
I'm even a precipitant baby deliverer.
Really?
You know, the Polish ladies.
Yes.
They go to the field, lay the baby, and go back to the field. Doctors can't catch my babies.
Oh my goodness.
They put me in the hospital early.
Wow.
They can't catch my babies.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Isn't that something? You're medical.
Yes.
Precipitant deliverer.
Yep. You've got some strong genes and genes that needed to be duplicated.
And my first baby was 9 pounds.
Holy bananas.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my structure is not, when I'm fat, I look strong.
Right.
But right now I'm at my normal weight of 115.
I was about to say, you look about half that size.
That's exactly right.
Man. Well, your message is one that women that I have been associated with pretty much, I'm 38 years old. And so pretty much most of my adult life, I've been associated with colleagues, friends, and women that I've come across, because like attracts like.
Right.
And we're all really strong-willed alpha females that are unaware that we're in our masculine energy, and it really hurts our relationships.
I fully understand that. That's why I do what I do. I'm never going to retire, and I plan to drop dead on the middle of your show.
I need a high five for that. Well, I definitely plan to help you spread your message, because our relationships are the most important things on this planet, right?
No, they're not.
You don't think?
We are.
Well, yes, I myself,
I have a right to be. I have the right to be an I,
Yes.
individuated, actualized.
Yes.
Abraham Maslow, and I have a right to want to mate. I am not going to help any woman get a man if I don't have one.
And tell the audience about your man. I love this.
Do you want to see his picture?
I do.
Oh, good.
You guys, for the record, some may refer to her as a cougar. I'm just going to put that out there.
I refer to me as a cougar.
She does.
I am a cougar. I am not. My husband died in 2002 of a surfing wound that he got when he was a young kid. He should have had surgery.
Right.
But they didn't have surgery then. And so he basically, when all osteoporosis, the spinal column. So he had to take opioids,
Right. Oh, yeah.
But he felt guilty because he was a recovering drug addict.
Right.
I was a recovering alcoholic.
Right.
And so he kept going off of them. And of course, as soon as he got off of them, the pain would come back.
Right.
And then he'd have to go back and take all the medicine he missed, plus catch up with what he needed, you see? So with that in mind.
But he was one of how many husbands that you buried?
4.
Right. And so
they all.
Hence the reason that you are 83 and your love
I'm
is
not going to
how
live
old?
Without. What?
How old is your love right now?
He's only 65. But
yes,
I want you
guys,
to see. Watch
it's
this.
Almost 20 years difference, and
20
it is
years
amazing.
And I asked him, and he used to be a shrink.
I heard.
And he's 35 years sober. And I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to break his anonymity.
Of course.
I'm just going to describe him. And then you're going to see. And I'm going to put his picture on
yes.
whatever you do. Okay?
So,
because he likes what I do.
Yes, absolutely. And I love the fact that you are very aware of the fact that in your relationship with him, no matter where you're at, you are always in your feminine energy.
I have to be, because he's a shrink, for God's sake. I mean, I know when he turns on, it's so funny. But do you want to know a funny secret?
I do.
30 years ago, he brought his gold digging wives to my seminars, because I've been doing them for 47. And you know what I know?
What?
When he talks, he still is using what I taught him, communication-wise. That is one of the greatest compliments I've ever had.
That is an amazing compliment.
Isn't that something? And I keep my mouth shut because I don't want him to remember how much he respected me.
Exactly. She is going to show me the picture of
yes.
her haughty young boyfriend who is almost 20 years younger than her. And you have been dating him for how long now?
3 years.
Man,
we're 3 years.
It's not just a fling,
and
guys.
We're never going to get married,
Did you hear that?
He's still not sure. I'm not a gold digger. I just turned over my business into a nonprofit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is very wise, because there are so many people that need to hear your message that will change their lives.
And all my students, the people that have learned to do my stuff, I want them to carry the message.
Well, this is why, this is one of the main reasons that I wanted to interview you now.
Good.
Because I started applying your techniques.
Are you prepared for this?
I am prepared. Oh my goodness. Okay, audience, I have to show you the picture of her hot young thing. Almost 20 years. Oh, I've got to give you another high five for that.
Do we look happy?
You look very happy.
We are happy. We love our relationship.
I love that. And that's
he's Irish.
Yep.
That means he's left the Catholic Church, but it's okay. I'll pray for both of us. Okay.
You grew up Catholic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is he. But he's exploring
Of
other
course, of
religions.
course.
Now, instead of being a shrink, he owns apartment buildings.
Nice. And you guys live happily together.
No.
No?
I will never live with him unless I'm engaged to him.
You guys, she practices what she preaches.
You're not kidding. I'm not going to, no.
So it's interesting. So one of the many theories that you teach other people is the idea of commitment and
monogamy, continuity, and longevity goals similar.
Yes.
Now, even monogamy, if you want to have an open relationship,
right,
have one, just so both of you agree to it.
Right.
So monogamy is what the couple decides.
And I'd never even heard of that way of thinking until I was introduced to you.
But that's individuation.
Absolutely.
Abraham Maslow's book, Toward the Psychology of Being. You're either a deficient person who's not individuated and not actualized.
Mm-hmm.
You're a question mark.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Or you're a person who's being who God and nature created you to be.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the fact that I'm healthier at 83 than I was at 35 is because I'm living the life that I was meant to live, 100%. Which could kill most people.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
I have just done 2 classes for a wonderful rehab center, California by the Sea.
Okay.
Young men.
Oh, nice.
Do you realize I just had more fun talking to them, coaching and teaching them. So, and I work for 3 rehab centers. I am unemployed. I get a little paycheck from my business.
Right. And you couldn't be happier.
Could I be happier? I guess I could be happier, but I'm not unhappy.
I like that.
I flow with life's flow. Some days are scary and painful.
Right.
And I just do what I teach.
Well, I've always been a very happy person. That's kind of my nature.
Right. Temperament. I'm an INTJ.
What is
that?
You
know what you are? That's Myers-Briggs.
Oh, yes, yes.
Do you know what you are?
I don't know it off the cuff. I would have to look.
Okay. I'm an intuitive introvert who's thinking and judgmental. I am so yang, I could tilt on my left lobe.
I'm probably the exact same.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Idealist.
Most definitely.
Okay. Down with fiction.
Yes.
Up with glossaries.
Every time you hear that, every time I hear you say that, I'm like, yes. Yes and yes. I think that's why I gravitate to you and everything that you do so much. So I decided to start dating, and I started to do the duty dating and the looking at the eye.
5 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Look in the eyes of people you're attracted to, either because they look rich or we're all trying to get either laid or paid.
Right.
Okay.
And the first time I heard you say that, I'm like, what is she talking about? So will you explain to the audience that doesn't know you, what do you mean when you're saying laid or paid?
Okay. Harvard did a study. I'm an addiction specialist from a hospital in Harvard's campus.
Right.
I didn't go to Harvard, but Patrick Carnes got me into this addictive. I'm addicted specialist in alcohol and sex.
Right.
Great combo. Automatic money.
Right.
Automatic.
And you have personal experience with both.
Right. So they put out a test for 10,000 people. Why did you mate? That's marriage without a document.
Right.
Or why did you marry? That's mating with the document.
Right.
They asked, why did you mate or marry? 2/3 of men mate and marry for sensuous and sexual stability.
Right.
They want a home to go to.
Right.
Kids to play with.
Right.
Wives to make love to.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Absolutely.
1/3 of men are gigolos. They mate and marry rich women who are the daughters of rich fathers, and they live off that trust fund.
Right.
Okay.
Which you say is okay as long
it's
as
fine. They both like it.
Right.
That's why I ask everybody, do you want to be respected, cherished, respected, or cherished and respected, which is fine if you're not a parent and you're not in a relationship, especially loving, especially sexual.
Absolutely.
You see? So that's them. 2/3 of women mate and marry for status. This is my promise ring.
Right.
Never going to be an engagement ring because I'm not getting married. 4 is tops.
Right. You've been there, done that 4 times. You're good.
That's good.
After burying 4 husbands, no more.
No. Yes, that's right. So 2/3 of women want status and financial security.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
They're called, women.
Right.
1/3 of women want
the boy toy.
Yeah. They want to get laid, you see, and be sexually secure.
Yes.
They're called
the masculine energy.
Cougars.
Yes. Yes.
So you're either wanting to get laid, which is physical.
Right.
Or you want to get paid.
Right. Right. So you have to figure out which one you are.
Well, you're both. It's priorities. In fact, if we had our way, we would be polyamorous.
Right.
You see, we would have one man for a pay. They're usually older and they're impotent.
Right.
And you're bringing them affection, companionship, whatever.
Right.
I've done that a couple of times with some very nice, powerful men.
Right.
But they died.
Problem with that.
Yeah. So, or you can have a toy boy. I have a toy boy.
Right.
65.
But in your relationship, you are the feminine energy.
There's no way he would allow me.
No.
He catches me. He does his shrink number like, and I know he's doing it. And I really feel good about it.
Right.
I feel safe about it.
Of course. Of course. Well, once I started to learn your ways of thinking of changing my vernacular, my speech, my communication language.
See that up there?
Yes.
Beware of your thoughts, for they become words. Beware of your words, they become habits. Beware of your habits, they become your character. Beware of your character, it becomes your destiny. At the bank making money, the doctor's office being healthy, and in every relationship, especially the loving sexual ones.
And I have quoted you on that so many times because it is so true.
It is so true. That's an Upanishad from India. That's Hindu.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that's
old.
Know that.
Oh, that's old. I didn't know that. I thought that just originated from your head.
No, dear.
That's ancient wisdom.
Made that thing, and
I
they
love
put
it.
my name on it, but that's not mine.
I love it. Well, it's so true. And I started to really take what you got your PhD in, which will you tell them?
Androgynous semantic realignment.
Okay, and so tell everyone what androgynous means, because I think a lot of people are thinking something else.
Well, it goes back to I Ching, goes back to Chinese quantum physics,
right?
Or Einstein, who said there's nothing but energy in the world, and it's physics, not philosophy.
Right.
It's provable.
Right.
Okay. So androgynous is you and I have female bodies.
Right.
Which is yin.
Right.
Energy.
Right.
We're receptive. Raise your right hand. And all you ladies out there, raise your right hands. I promise.
On my honor.
To respect the men I love. Even when I know. At least part-time. That I'm smarter. And I could do it better. If he would allow it. Furthermore. I promise. To keep my yang mouth shut. Unless I have to call the police. A doctor. Or a lawyer. First. Now, do you want to represent men?
I do want to represent men. I'll use my man voice.
I promise. On my
honor.
To give, protect, and cherish.
The
women I love. The kids. The plants. The animals. Even when they're illogical.
That is cherishing.
That is cherishing.
And that is an oath that you make the audience take every single time that you record your podcast.
Every time.
I'll never forget the first time I heard you do the female part, the feminine energy one. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's talking to my soul. And I laughed out loud when I heard the male part.
Your soul is the animus.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Latin. Any culture with the language based on Latin
Mhm.
is androgynous.
Right.
Like Spanish, Mexican, French, you know,
Right.
Italian.
Right. Exactly.
They automatically include sex. Do you know my book, Getting to I Do? Do you know what it's called in German?
I do, but tell the audience.
No Man for One Night. Do you know why?
Why?
Because in German, you're not getting or losing. You
Right.
either got it or you don't.
Right.
But that's their structure.
Right.
Do you see?
I do.
So androgynous, I deal with the 4 people in every relationship. That's mother and son, because Freud said we're cooked by 3.
Right.
Go to any preschool, you'll see the bullies,
Yep.
you'll see the whiners,
Yep.
and you'll see the negotiators. Right there, 3 years old.
My mom was a kindergarten teacher. I asked her after hearing you speak about
Yes.
this exact thing, and she goes, "Oh, she is right on the money."
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So with that in mind, he started this ball game.
Right.
And if you saw Ruth Bader Notorious Gingrich, what's her name? That
Gingrich.
Gingrich.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw it. It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
With balls that are huge. But she's a lady.
Yes.
Do you see?
Uh-huh.
And she made a difference. And she's my new heroine.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to look her up. And
it's a great movie.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Okay, so we androgynous, semantic.
I'm not a linguist. I'm a certified transsexual analyst.
Right.
Eric Byrne with super egos, ids, and all that junk.
Right.
So he took them and simplified them into parent, nurturing parent. You can do that, but it's going to cost you. Intimidating parent.
Right.
You do it, I'll kill you.
Right.
When I first started working with Russian women, I got used to them saying, their mothers said, I gave you life. I can take it away.
Yes.
Oh, lousy. And the whiners, teacher. See what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So androgynous, the 4 people, there's 4 people in every relationship.
Right.
I teach 4 people how to waltz.
Which you mean that every individual, whether we're talking homosexual or heterosexual, has a masculine and feminine, or yin or yang, and you're dealing with 2 people, so that's where you get the 4 people.
Absolutely. Okay. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, I just want to make.
That's the way it is.
Exactly.
So androgynous, semantic, realignment. What happens to your tires if you don't realign them?
You wreck.
You crash.
You're right.
You see?
Absolutely.
So I teach, I'm a transactional analyst certified.
Right.
And because I'm that, and I'm an addiction specialist, McLean Hospital on the Harvard campus.
Okay.
Patrick Carnes.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so these are the things I do, and I've written the books. If they want, drpatallen.com. You can see what I've done.
Believe me, I've recommended your books to a lot of people.
Have you read It's a Man's World in a Woman's Universe?
I have.
That one is the concise summation of my theories. You know why it's small?
Why?
Because men don't like self-help books.
No, they don't. They don't.
So I have written a very condensed book that looks simple, but you could do a doctoral dissertation on every sentence.
Oh, yeah, you could. Yes, you could.
And that book is not going to be popular till I'm long gone. But it's the summary.
I hope that I can help you make it popular before you're long gone, because
you know what?
I mean, you're half Irish. You've got I'm half Irish, half German, and my great grandmother lived to 106, and she was a feisty woman like you are.
But I have got it in print now.
Yes.
Do you realize I can die now? I don't want to. I have no intention.
Right.
But I've said my thing.
Yep. And your words will continue to change this planet.
They will. And first people will hate them.
Yes.
Then they'll fight over them.
Guilty.
And then they'll assume they're normal.
Yes. Started making eye contact, which is very uncomfortable.
I know that for men.
Yes.
Who are supposed to be feminine, seductive 6-year-old women.
Yeah.
Every 6-year-old girl knows how to flirt.
Yes. So true. So true. And it's funny because the 5-second look that I started practicing once I started
Yes.
listening to you, I was telling, because this is a topic of conversation oftentimes and one of my closest friends, she actually does my lashes. Her husband goes, 5 seconds is too long. It makes me feel awkward.
It does. You know why? It's normal to look 1, 2, 3 out. Those extra 2 seconds means you're inviting sexual attention.
Yes.
You feel like a slut. And if you're lucky, he's picking it up.
Yes.
But getting into your body or
totally different story. So true. Yeah. So Danny Young thinks that you should make it 3 seconds, but he doesn't understand the 5 seconds.
3 seconds
the 2
is
extra.
normal.
Exactly.
What I'm doing
worked 100% of the time.
I know that, dear.
It's crazy.
And he or she who speaks first is voting for male.
And when I heard you first say that, I mean, it spoke directly to me because I've always,
Hi there.
Yes. I just thought that was my personality, and that's the way.
No, it isn't. It's not.
But I had no one that gave me permission.
It's your neurobiology.
Yes. Yes.
You see?
I never had to tell me, though, and essentially giving me permission to turn off my masculine energy. I just thought that was my personality and who I was. And if you don't like it.
No, every human being you meet is going to signal that they want respect.
I was signaling respect first.
Those poor fellows that are losing their careers.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Really don't realize it's a man's world of things, but it's a woman's world of oxygen.
Yes, so true.
So would you rather have things or oxygen?
I'll take oxygen, please.
Yeah. Because oxygen is what you use to speak and breathe.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you know that built to handle 5,000 words, vocabulary-wise?
Right.
2,500 for them, and then they punch the wall.
I've heard you say this before.
But that's what they do.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they run out of words.
Absolutely.
You see?
Yep.
Unless they're biologically gay.
Yes.
This is another one of my popular
yes, for sure.
ideas. Well, it's getting less obnoxious. People are buying the physical.
Right.
You're female for 8 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then mom spotted the Y and started producing the testes and the testosterone. And she did or didn't get the job.
Exactly.
And do you know what a cortisone hypoplasic adrenalized female is? No. See, I should have been a psychiatrist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I have them working for me.
Yes.
But I was too
that doesn't
busy
surprise me.
Out, but I've achieved my goal.
Hey, you've done your
That's right. Okay. So realignment is what I do. I'm a transactional analyst. Byrne converted the superego into the parent. Critical parent, super parent. Don't tell your dad. I'll give you the money. You go down to court, buy yourself out of the accident, and shh, don't tell dad.
Yep.
He'll cry. Okay. Or the negotiating.
Right.
You have every right to want to do that, son, but this is what it's going to cost you. So if you're willing to pay, have at it.
Right.
The adult is the computer that records prejudices, delusions, and allows you to be you. People come to me with this much of themselves, and I have to open that gap so that they are really who they want to be.
Right.
Individuated. Individuation is yin.
Yes.
Individuation is yang. It's energy. Actualization is yin.
Okay.
You see, we're like the plant pot.
Right.
Men put the energy sperm in the pot.
Right.
Creates the sex of the baby.
Right.
Half of the whatever.
Right.
And now they're finding out, as you may know, that men's long-term fertility factor is as jeopardicial as ours is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So they're going to be freezing their sperm one of these days.
Probably sooner than later, I would imagine. Well, I was out there dating, practicing your theories.
Right.
And the first man that I actually started to consider being in a monogamous, committed, continuous long-term relationship.
Means, well, how often will I see you?
Exactly. Well, when we talked about those exact points,
That's it.
we were on different pages. And
I know that. It's called incompatible.
yeah, and because I love me more,
yes,
I ended it, and it was painful because he was the first man that I'd come across.
I fully understand that, but incompatibility is your lives don't fit together.
Exactly.
They've got to fit.
Exactly.
And you've got to have the same goal long term. And it's got to be mated or married.
Yes.
Those are the two types. And there's 3 styles. Convenient, where you both work
right.
either dollar for dollar or percentage.
Right.
Do you see?
Right.
And that's a convenient.
Right. That's probably more common nowadays, right?
Very much. It's hard California is hard to live in.
Yes, it is.
It's getting to compete with New York.
Yes.
Okay, then compatibility means that in the major orders of things like health or wealth,
right,
or religion,
right,
or politics,
right,
or just, do you want to be respected and cherished?
Right.
Then finally, where are we going? Is this a 3-day romance?
Right.
Is it while your wife's out of town?
Mm-hmm.
What is this for? If you both agree, fine.
Right. You're not here to judge. You're here to.
I'm not a moralist. I'm a therapist.
Thank you.
I will help you get what you want other than child abuse,
right,
elder abuse,
right,
or disabled adult abuse.
Yes.
Got to turn you in. Yes. And I've done it.
Oh, yeah. Well, as a physician, we have the same laws that we have to. So I've turned a few of those in as well in my practice.
Do you know what they're finally doing?
What?
Lawyers can't screw their clients.
It's about freaking time.
You're not kidding. They were taking away therapist license and doing the same thing that therapists are accused of doing.
Wow.
And I like it for us, and I like it for them.
Yes, absolutely. So absolutely. Well, the man that I was in a relationship with for a short amount of time that I ended, that led me to the man that met me, who is currently the love of my life.
Yes.
And he met me, and I have put into practice everything. In fact, he listened to a few of your podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yes. And he
men love this therapy.
Yes, they do.
Because they love me wanting women to respect them.
Yes.
If that's what they want.
Yes.
I just got out of a class where one young man said, I want to be cherished and I want a strong woman to lead me. I said, you're fine. That's fine. Intern.
Yes.
He's helping the businesswoman run her business while her husband is at home babysitting.
Right. And that's a perfect example of the woman being in the masculine energy and the man being in the feminine energy.
I have no problem.
No problem.
And gay people, I'm co-writing a book with a gay colleague of mine.
Nice.
Because I have no problem as long as 2 people negotiate time, space, money, and play, non-sexual and sexual.
Right.
Those are the building blocks of compatibility.
Well, my man,
chapter 14 of the book.
Okay, and we're going to talk about all of the books that people need to read, because there are so many tools that people can use, both free and paid for, that can change their lives forever. And it's not just for the single person that has had a history of bad relationships. Your work is for everyone.
Yes,
I was trying to think of one stereotype of a person that couldn't benefit. There's no one.
I understand that, but it takes a position statement of complexity. Do you see? Do you know that even in the Hindu religion, that they have understood that man and woman, they have a god that I can't pronounce the name of.
Right.
But she's half female and half male.
Okay.
That's thousands of years ago.
Right. Right.
Do you see? So nothing that I teach is young.
Right.
It's just simple science for today.
Right.
But it's philosophically ancient.
But it sounds like simple science, but it's not science that we hear about. I
know till now.
Right. You are one of the few people that I have heard talk about this science. And it is not just an emotion feelings thing. It is true science.
Truly. Carl Jung, my hero.
Yes.
Carl Jung was an analyst. He didn't get along with Sigmund because Sigmund was a father figure.
Right.
And Carl Jung wanted to be more eclectic.
Right.
So they split. So psychiatrists are often choosing psychoanalysis, that's
Right.
Freud, that's
Right.
by 3.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other group is analysts.
Yes. Yes.
So I analyze language.
Yes. What was the main book for? I know Carl Jung wrote many books, but the main book that you always talk about on your podcast, what is the title of it?
Carl Jung's book?
Yes. It's the yin and yang one, right?
The yin and yang
No,
one.
I'm trying, because there's one of the books that you quote from him.
His Memories, Dreams, and Reflections.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
But
all of his, stuff. His wife wrote the book.
I think that was what I was thinking about.
No, that's his wife.
Okay. Well, my man Chris, he told me to tell you,
yes,
thank you, first of all. He also said, I hope that we're doing things right so far.
You would be if you're comfortable. When women feel good, they do good.
It's so true.
When men do good, they feel good.
So true.
Do you see what I'm saying?
It's funny because we're in what you call the imperfect phase right now.
Yeah, first 3 months, perfect. HQ loves it. It's all perfect.
Right.
Second 3 months, the real him and the real her comes out.
Right.
Third 3 months is where you negotiate time, space, money, and play.
Right.
The fourth 3 months, you want to be in a relationship? Raise your right hand.
Yes.
I promise.
I promise.
On my honor.
On my honor.
Never.
Never.
Will I commit to a finite, fallible human being.
Will I commit to a finite, fallible human being.
Instead.
I
will commit to the relationship.
With
a finite, fallible human being.
I
will do my half. And I hope to God he does his. The only way you know you love yourself or anybody else are the commitments you're willing to make and keep. That's it.
So the first time I ever heard you say that,
yes,
I paused it and I went and got a little note card,
yes,
and I wrote it down in
That's
quotes,
right.
Put your name, and it's still on my refrigerator.
It's simple, but
It
it's
is.
Absolutely correct.
It is. And we're in that imperfect phase, although it still feels like the perfect phase. I'm not gonna lie.
That's because the energy is still flowing.
Okay.
It hasn't been plugged up with egos.
No.
Or bad religious.
Right.
Or bad political.
Right.
Or bad family.
Right.
Experiences. See, when we're scripted.
Yes, and we're all scripted.
Yeah. And remember, Carl Jung helped Bill Wilson set up the 12-step programs, which has been universally more helpful than most treatments for addictive personalities.
Absolutely.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So with that in mind, everything in the AA program,
right,
all the contingency joint groups,
right,
are to go back to crediting Carl Jung.
Interesting.
You see?
Yep.
And the secret is the id. That's the kid. John Bradshaw's little favorite.
Right.
The kid id is the one that wants, doesn't want. There's 4 kinds of kid.
Okay.
There's the fun free. Mom, I want to use pot. Fine. No car. Got it?
Right.
Nurturing mom.
Right.
The second kid is, okay. That's the doormat kid. That's what I was raised to be.
Right.
Patriarchally raised.
Yes.
Okay. Then there's the rebellious. No, Mom, I'm not going to take a bath. I'm not going to wash my face. I'm not going to brush my teeth. I'm not going to eat my broccoli. I'm not going to do anything you say. There. Rebellious.
Right.
Then there's that fourth one. Demonic.
Ooh.
I must kill myself or you by being scripted by my church, my culture, my religion.
Yes.
And here are the drivers. This is Tabby Kaler's work.
Okay.
Little Rock, Arkansas. He's a TA.
Okay.
Be perfect. Try harder. Hurry up. Please other people.
Oh.
Be strong and don't need help. Those are drivers.
Yep.
That is what drives you crazy.
Yeah.
Here's the allowers. This allows you to individuate and actualize yourself.
Yeah.
That's the secret. That's Abraham Maslow. Okay. Be excellent. Retarded people are better on an assembly line than geniuses.
Right.
Toyota found that out when they put buttons on all the assembly spots, and geniuses pushed all the buttons to change the system. Retarded people can put the same screw in the same hole for a lifetime and be healthy and happy.
Absolutely.
So be excellent no matter what your disability. You know the best way to live a long life?
What?
Have a killing disease and take care of it. That's why I'm here.
You're right.
There isn't one reason I'm here by my medical records.
You're right. You're
Got
right.
it? Be excellent. Know what's enough. Work easy.
Yes.
I don't work. I haven't worked. I'm not even employed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But all my needs are met, and the money's there, and the clothes are there, and the cars are there, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God's good to me.
Right.
So be excellent. Know what's enough. Please yourself. Work easy. Please yourself. Am I here for you or for me?
No, you're here for you.
I'm here for me. I'm here for the fun of doing this.
Yes.
Okay. And then be open to learning.
Yes.
You see?
Oh, yes.
So there's the drivers and the allowers that script you. Claude Steiner's scripts people live. In AA, it's called inventories.
Okay.
But in TA, it's called scripting.
Okay.
Do you see?
Yeah.
So Eric Byrne, he was a mama's boy.
Right.
And he didn't trademark his work. My work is trademarked.
Smart.
Kenobi, Martin, Olson, and Bear will get you if you do things that are against my rights.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. But I'll be nice to you. Do you know what?
Yeah.
The last person that tried to do damage to me by stealing lost his house, his antique car that he used for whatever, lots of artwork, and I didn't take them.
Nope.
He broke the law.
Yeah, he did it to himself.
He did it to himself, ego-wise.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And now he's dying of brain cancer.
Oh, that's terrible.
Just like his brother did.
Really?
Guess what Mom was like?
Oh, man.
Clip.
Of course.
Yes. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So that's what Eric Byrne did to Sigmund Freud. And he lost his heart. His heart blew up on him. He had a Takotsubo cardiomyopathy heart. Do you know what that is?
I do, but because I've listened to all your podcasts. But my listeners,
it's a broken heart syndrome.
Yes.
When you betray someone, especially a man who's right-handed,
yes,
has a smaller corpus callosum,
yes,
bifurcates his feelings from his thinking, can't do both at the same time, that's left to women, right and left-handed, that's left to biologically gay, and left-handed and ambidextrous men, Einstein, Picasso, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Paul McCartney, Frank Sinatra, Thomas Jefferson, they can do what women can do universally.
Right.
Do you see?
Oh, yeah.
And so basically, watch your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. So if you could have three things that if you had a crystal ball and you could look 100 years into the future and your work has changed, what would those three major things be?
What has changed?
Yeah.
Conceptually?
Yes.
I don't know, because somebody more creative than I have finished my theoretical. What I'm doing now is helping colleagues write books, helping colleagues
spread your word.
What is this?
This is a podcast. Yes.
Yeah. So basically, I've made my statement and I feel so good about it. Do you see?
Absolutely.
That I don't know. I'm into telomeres now.
Yes.
I'm studying telomeres.
And how important they are in aging.
Yes. And I think, one of the side effects, do you know what one of the side effects of chemically, I take a medicine that I'm sure is a telomere supportive.
Okay.
Do you know what the sign is?
What?
I have no gray hair.
Oh.
No, I dye it, but I don't have it.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Right.
And my hairdressers don't understand why, but I figured it out.
Huh.
Do you see?
Yes.
That I take a medicine that there's a Dr. Martin Jensen here in Orange County that is certified. It's a plant.
Okay.
That helps the telomeres, work on the neurons.
I should probably interview him for my podcast.
Would you please do that?
I think I will.
He is Martin Jensen, and he's the most creative psychiatrist. I send him the most difficult cases.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I'm actually going to be interviewing one of the leading scientists that does EMDR.
Oh, that's wonderful. You know, one of my students is the director of the Los Angeles Army Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. One of my students is running the Los Angeles. No, feel free to interview him.
For sure. Because
Robert Storr.
You know, just like patients that suffer from PTSD,
Yes.
I believe that people that suffer with food addictions and
by the way, I eat for my blood type.
Oh, is that what you do? And that's how you stay so skinny? And
yes, it is. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I can masticate, because I eat for stroking.
Right.
I'm hideously demyelinated.
Right.
You know, and whatever. So I'm very sensitive, and that's what causes the labile high blood pressure.
Okay.
Which I don't have. I have 100/60 kind of things.
Right.
Okay. So I eat for my blood type.
Okay.
Science.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
My students are benefiting soldiers that are PTSD.
Right.
My students, like you, are out there carrying the message.
Absolutely.
And I don't work for money.
No.
I work for success, to make a difference.
Yep. Absolutely.
You see?
Oh, absolutely. You have made a huge difference in my life. And I've only known of you less than a year.
I know that. One of my best strokes came from my 4 daughters.
Yeah.
5 grandsons.
Right.
2 granddaughters.
Right.
3 great-grandsons. I could go broke with cards.
You could.
You see what I mean?
You could.
One of them said to another one, read mom's book, even if she wrote it.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
I was alcoholic.
Yes.
That is not a fun place to be raised.
No, it's not. It's
not.
You
see what I mean?
I do. Well, I have never, I'm 38, and up until recently, since I met Chris, I've never felt like what it feels like to be cherished and adored and loved.
Isn't it wonderful?
It is. And I just want every single person to be able to experience that.
I know that. Me too.
But we want to get them out of their own ways.
Me too is good for me too.
Exactly. And this is why I'm constantly talking about you and your work, and why
Beautiful.
I'm so honored that you took time to let me interview you in person. I mean, truly, I'm not one that gets starstruck.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Years and years ago, remember, I've been doing this for 47 years.
Yes, you have.
And I've been lecturing.
Right.
Now I'm just doing a few lectures, and I'm working much easier.
Right.
Because I have a boyfriend to play with.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
A young boyfriend.
Well, people were stroking me. Remember, at UCI, I said, if I could have a moment of sanity, I will serve mankind the rest of my life.
Right.
That's what I promised. So when people stroke me for what I've got, I say the following things.
Okay.
That a group at lunch for a seminar went out and got a red T-shirt, and on the front of it, it said, God is not spelled P-A-T.
I love it.
Do you see?
Oh, yeah.
I am so appreciative of the life I'm living, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Yep.
My kids. I am so grateful that I got the message on how to be androgynously, semantically realigned with words.
Yes.
Do you see?
Yes, I do. And I want all of my listeners to not just follow your podcast and not just buy your books, but really buy your books, read them, and apply them.
Yes.
Apply them.
I know that.
Because they'll not only change marriages that are broken.
Totally.
They'll prevent bad marriages.
You can't believe the difference. I had a couple come with 2 miseducated kids. Then they had 2 more. But these were raised according to these principles.
Wow.
Big difference.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I cannot imagine. For sure. Okay. So if you can tell the audience where they can find you, you said definitely drpatallen.com.
That's right.
And that's drpatallen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, .com.
No dots and periods.
Right.
Just drpatallen.com. You see?
Yes. And then we have your Dr. Pat Allen podcast.
Yes.
And then the books. So if the listener is a new Pat Allen fan and they're like, oh, I love this woman, kind of like I was.
Yeah.
Where should they start? What book should they start with? And then from there, go on.
The first book is book that I wrote as a side to my doctoral thesis.
Okay.
It's called Conversational Rape.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little tiny book.
Oh, I haven't read that.
Yeah, it's in its 3rd edition.
Okay.
Then you can graduate to Getting to I Do.
Right, which is your bestseller.
Yes,
you're most known for.
Then you can Getting to I Do, and then my next one is
the universe. It's a man's world, but a woman's universe, right?
Yes. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
And there's all kinds of what else?
You have a few more books, but they're all on your website.
Yes, they're all on my go there.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
I just want to acknowledge you for the work that you've done and the work that you're going to continue to do while on this earth.
Yes, I'm going to.
And just appreciate you for everything that you have to do for other people's lives, whether they listen to your message through my voice or yours. I just acknowledge you and thank you, because this was worth 38 years and some bad.
It's a man's world and a woman's universe.
Yes. And that's actually, I love that even more than Getting to I Do, to be honest. I love that book.
That's the synthesis.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So I want to thank you for helping carrying the message.
Absolutely. And
just one person.
I know.
Is helped.
I know.
Good.
Just last night on my live broadcast on Facebook, when I talked about you, there were so many comments of, this is an interesting concept. So,
yes.
There are still so many people that need to hear your work.
I know that. And it's very, what's really interesting? It's very simple.
It is.
Yeah. In America, drive on the right side of the line. In England, drive on the left side or you die.
Right. Exactly. And I was driving on the left side in America in relationships, and I was dying.
I know it.
But no longer. And it's funny because now my man, he will ask me, are you in your masculine energy or feminine energy right now?
Good?
Yes.
Isn't that wonderful?
It is. It's empowering, honestly.
Totally
and I would have never thought that it was so empowering.
It is very
completely
okay with the world.
Yes.
Because I was going to be a nun, but my father wanted grandchildren.
Right.
Okay, so that was given to me as a reminder. You see this up here? Everything in this room is not professional.
Right.
It's playful because both my offices in LA and Orange County have no windows.
Right.
I'm in the womb room.
Yes, you are.
You see?
Well, I definitely, I would love to come and have a session with you, with my man and I love, because not only is your message and your concepts good to get into a healthy relationship, but also to keep that healthy relationship.
Totally.
And so thank you so much for spending time with me today.
You're very welcome, and thank you for helping me carry the message.
You're most welcome. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of FITz and Healthy podcast. I'm literally stumbling on my words because I'm so excited after meeting and talking to this woman who literally has changed my life for the better. And hopefully this message will change your life for the better. So go to her website, get her book, follow her online, listen to her podcast, and let it change your life as well. Thank you, and hopefully you have a FITz and Healthy day. Bye.
Bye.
Make sure that you find us on social media. You can find Synthony on Instagram and Facebook at Synthony. So that's CINTHANIE, and on Snapchat at Synthony P. And find me on social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at Club FITZ Fitness. Remember, that's FITZ Fitness. And on Snapchat, just at Club FITZ. I appreciate your time listening so much. If you enjoyed this episode of the FITz and Healthy podcast, can you please go do me a favor and go subscribe at whatever platform that it is that you listen to podcasts. Leave a review. We read every single review, and we appreciate the time that you take to leave your thoughts and opinions. Now, also remember, while I am a medical doctor, the information I provide here is not intended to provide medical advice or a professional diagnosis, opinion, treatment, or services to you or to any other individual. I am providing general information for educational and informational purposes only, and it is not a substitute for medical or professional care. You should not use this information in place of a visit, call, consultation, or the advice of your physician or other healthcare provider. The information I share is not intended to treat, cure, or diagnose any disease or medical condition. If you believe you have a medical emergency, just call 911 immediately or your physician. Now, enough of that medical legal jargon. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I appreciate your time. Now, go live a FITz and healthy life.